Okay, let's talk about Suffolk County Transit. And actually, I want to give one of my viewers, I think his name is Mike C, credit for letting me know about this. I know there was a survey here, but what I didn't know is that in the survey, they're actually providing maps that you can look at. And basically, what it is Suffolk County Transit. We all know about the Queens Bus Redesign and what a disaster it is. Well, Suffolk County also is planning a redesign, and this redesign is going to change some areas quite drastically. And This is all part of a report. Actually, if I can find the thing, where did it go? I know I had it here. Where is it? I had it loaded and now it's gone. Oh, here it is. Called the Reimagined Transit, which is part of Suffolk County Transit mobility here. All right, so this is a Reimagined Transit, and this is about what is Reimagined Transit. So they basically want to change the system, and this is a whole very long report here, a very long report, and this is from Jarrett Walker and Associates. So Reimagined Transit is a Suffolk County initiative to rethink and reconsider the Suffolk County Transit bus network and consider how its transit system is meeting the county's mobility needs. A bus network redesign is a collaborative planning effort to decide where today's bus service should go, when it should run, and how frequently it should operate, starting from a clean slate. This project is a collaboration between Suffolk County Departments of Planning and Economic Development and Public Works, and will engage riders, the general public, and key stakeholders in the conversation about how the county's bus network should serve its riders. So, today's Suffolk County Transit bus network is a result of decades of cumulative small changes and adjustments. The resulting network may not be meeting the goals and priorities of today's residents, employers, and institutions. Redesigning Suffolk County Transit's bus network is an opportunity to review existing and potential transit demand and need, and design a network that meets those demands and needs most effectively. It is also a key opportunity to carefully think through and weigh competing goals for transit. Redesign does not mean changing every bus route and stop. The key point is that thinking is not constrained by the existing network. Where the analysis suggests that existing service patterns make sense, those elements would be retained. Ultimately, the goal is a network designed for the Suffolk County of today and tomorrow, not one based on the past. So, it's a whole long report here. All right, so these are some of the ridership trends. Obviously, over the years, ridership has been dropping. Service did improve in the mid 20. It looks like it's having an increase in total service hours. All right, productivity though has gone down, and operating expenses have continued to go up. By looking at this here, how much service does Suffolk County Transit provide compared to its peers? So this is the investment, some charts and service investment, and you can see that it's quite low compared to a lot of other areas like Ride On, Beeline, Fairfax, even Nice Bus is on this chart. All right. A lot of it has to do with the STOA, the State Operating Assistance, and that there is limited weekend service and only a few routes offer any Sunday service, and weekend service is critical. All right. So the changes they made here are, like I said, some really drastic changes in certain areas. And like I said, I don't want to waste your time reading this whole thing here because this is a very, very long thing. I'll provide the link for this report below. All right. You can see that there's some maps here, though, in population density here, residential density, seasonal population changes like what you get on the East End, job density, village hamlet centers, universities and hospitals, office and industrial parks and shopping centers, of course. So this is their activity density map. And of course, you can see not a whole lot here going on in the Pine Barrens, of course. All right. They don't view, unfortunately, the Pine Barrens as a place that should be served, apparently, even though there are people that might want to go hiking there and go there for recreation. However, here's a look at the walkability of certain areas here. All right. So this is a very interesting thing. Low income residents as well. These, I guess, this maps out the lower income areas in the county. Um, Poverty density. So this is all looking at demographics. Households without cars. All right. So seniors, um, youth. So this is another map here. Areas that have a larger percentage of minority residents. All right, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here about demographics. All right, so this is the existing map of the existing services in Suffolk County, right? That you see here on the screen. Right, this is your existing Suffolk County transit map. All right, that they have. All right, that they have put together. All right, so this is the existing network. All right. So when I took the survey, I was presented with two concepts: one for more network coverage, and one for more frequent service. All right. So this is some more maps of the existing network. All right. I don't know if they've got the maps here. So this is a map of some of the frequencies of service on some of the maps here. On some of the routes here. So this is a map of the service frequencies, all right, that you have on certain routes here, right? Here's more of them. So there's a lot of information in this report. It's very informative and interesting, to say the least, that you have the service frequencies around some of these routes, all right? So they're talking about here. They're talking about they're comparing the train schedules, and this is a big problem. Coordinating with the railroad. The Suffolk County needs to do a better job of coordinating the schedule with the Long Island Railroad, and they're pointing out that the connections with the railroad don't always connect up with the trains, and sometimes you have to wait a long time. All right, and of course they pick Patchogue because it's the South Shore. So how many people in your transit in Suffolk County? So that's very interesting stuff. Where are people riding transit? So it's all very interesting things that they are talking about here. Right? Like I said, you got to read the whole report, all right? Because there's a lot of information in here. Bay Shore, they're talking about. Huntington, they're showing some of the areas here. How far can you travel? What's walkable? What's not walkable? A map of the existing transit access. All right. You can see the western part of the county is much more than the eastern part. Another map, 60-minute job access. Deviations and complexity. So they talk about all the deviations in the routes, complex route designs and stuff like that. Shorter walks or shorter waits. And that's the other thing here that they address. On-time performance. Which routes have the best on-time performance? Percent on time. You can say it's pretty bad, actually. It's 2019. You could barely crack half 50% on time on some of these routes. All right, and some of the routes with the worst on-time performance seem to be, let's see, obviously Sunday's going to have the best on, but some of the worst performance, the 54, the 33, the 58 is pretty bad too, I might add as well. So this is below 50%. This on-time performance is very, very bad, and that's not surprising because of all the traffic and the fact that these routes are long routes. Pull this out a little bit here. So these are the concepts, all right, that they are talking about, all right. I don't know if they actually have the maps in here. I have. All right, here we go. So this way I don't have to show you. I already downloaded the maps, but this way I could show you the maps on a PDF, which will have better high resolution versus the JPEGs I downloaded from the survey. So this is the coverage concept, all right. In the coverage concepts, most of the areas that are served by Suffolk County Transit fixed route services would still have some transit service, but this means that service is spread more thinly. The concept is designed to provide the same level of coverage as the existing network, but with some duplication and complexity has been removed. Riverhead, Central Islip, Patchogue, and Smith Haven Mall are places where time connections are possible between many routes. Many low-density suburban and rural areas where existing service is very important are served by demand response, labeled in the maps as on-demand transit zones. Within the zones, passengers will have to request a pickup with a wait time of 30 to 45 minutes. They have timed arrivals and departures at nearby transit hubs, where people can connect to and from the fixed routes. So it's like a flexi bus type of service, basically. The maps below and on the next 2 pages are meant to provide a high-level overview of the service available in the county and the western part of the county, respectively, during the middle of the day during the coverage concept. It is not meant to provide minor routing details. To explore this concept and its relevance to your life, you can find a place you care about on the map using the labeled streets, find which routes are nearby by number and color, look at the legend to learn the weekday frequencies of those routes, and see where else these routes go. The table on page 69 shows each route's frequencies and how they change throughout the day. The charts on page 74 show the number of residents served. So here is the map that this is the coverage concept map that we are looking at now. All right. And this is the concept that I support, because obviously the other concept will mean much less service. Now, the coverage concept, a lot of the routes are kept, but they're renumbered, some of them. All right, like the S40 now becomes the S2, and it's actually combined with the S20 leg, which serves the Sunrise Mall. So you'll have one route that runs between Sunrise Mall and Patchogue. All right, I think that's a good decision. All right, you have additional service at Ronkonkoma Rail. The 6A is renumbered to the S52. So this is taking over part of the 6A route, and that's going to go to Quorum and then serve the Gordon Heights as well. So that area where the 60 loops through Gordon Heights would then be served by the S52. All right, so you have an additional service there. All right. And that S52 will connect you up with this S58, obviously. S58 seems to be unchanged, except in the western leg here. Because in the western leg, instead of it going straight down 25, what is it doing? It's going down some road here, maybe Mark Tree Road, and making a right, and then going up to Stony Brook. I think it's going to the mall, or is it going directly up to Stony Brook? And then it's going to go to Smithtown. And then it's going to go to Hauppauge. So the 58 is going to change. You're still going to have 58 service to Smithtown, but you're going to have to, it's going to go up to Stony Brook first, and then go back down again. That seems kind of weird. And then this leaves this whole leg of 25 without any bus service. So here's a problem right here. This whole area around 25 is going to have no bus service between, I guess, Mark Tree Road and Stony Brook Road. Or this stretch here. This is stupid. All right? This is stupid right here. All right? So we have our first problem here in this redesign. All right? The fact is, if you want to get from out east to the Smith Haven Mall now, the 58... And the other thing is, you're not going to have a bus that's going straight down 25 in this section either. So it's going to go down. So basically, the 63 is gone. So you see, a lot of these routes are going away, basically. And it's a complete redesign. And very much like the Queens Bus Redesign, it's a mess. All right? And we're just looking at the coverage concept now. All right? So 51, you have a 51 route that's going to go from Ronkonkoma to, I guess this is like the old 7A route that this is going to take. Then you have the 6. The 54 is going to be renamed the 6 and serve the airport. The 57 and the 59 are gone. They're eliminated. And then they're replaced with the 51. So wait a minute. How are you supposed to get from Ronkonkoma Rail directly to the airport then? There's not going to be a route that's going to take you from Ronkonkoma Rail to the airport. How freaking stupid is that? And then I guess this route here would wind up serving, so you'd have to get off at Central Islip instead of Ronkonkoma and take the 6. I guess that's how they do it. All right, so either way, you see this is a huge change, and it would also make my life more difficult in some ways. Actually, let me go back to this. All right, what am I at here? All right. All right, so this would make my life more difficult in some ways. All right, because let's say I'm going to the Pine Barrens. Yeah, so the 6 would go down through Hauppauge. So the 54, what was the 54 is changed. It becomes the 6, and it serves Hauppauge. But then the route changes to serve the Central Islip Rail Station, which I agree with. I think it should connect up with the railroad. The 54 does not have any connection currently with the main line. But then it goes down Vets Highway. But if you wanted to get to the airport, you'd have to get off at Central Islip instead of Ronkonkoma. We all know that station is not very nice, and it's not the safest area. All right. So you see what I don't know what these little pink lines are. But you see that this is a drastic change here. Right now, Ronkonkoma does get the 52 as well, which would go, I guess, to go up through here and then go to Central Islip. Why? What is the point in that route? Oh, I see. The 52 would be the same, the old 6A. So it'd be combined into another route. This is so confusing, and it looks nothing like the bus. This is going to result in such mass confusion. All right. So you have the 52 here. All right, so the 52 would be the 6A. So, I mean, I could still get to Ronkonkoma, but get my 6A bus and transfer over the 58 and go to the Pine Barrens that way. That's not an issue that way. But if you wanted to get off and go here to this area of Centereach here, Centereach is only going to have one bus route now, the 58, and that's going to be it. Now the Centereach has 3 bus routes, the 58, the 63, and the 6B. Now you're only going to have the 58. And if you want to get from Centereach to the Smith Haven Mall, instead of having a short ride down Route 25, now you're going to have to go all the way back up over here and then transfer over. Oh, this is a disaster. This whole thing is a disaster, right? But wait till you see the other map. This is going to be even worse, all right? So then you have the southern area, all right? South Shore, of course, where, of course, now the darker shaded routes have frequent service. They're going to have every half an hour service, all right? But you can see on the South Shore, you have the S40, and the 66 is going to remain unchanged, except it's going to go straight instead of going down South Country, so it's going to take a more direct route, basically. The 66 remains unchanged, all right? Let me zoom this out a little bit, because I think I'm zoomed into an inset here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I am. This is the western part of the county, all right? The other issue that we have on this redesign is the 33 is no more as well. So the 33 route, let me pull this in here a little more. The old 33 route, which runs down Comac Road. Now, Comac Road, you're not going to have any, but you're only going to have one route that's going to serve this area of Comac, the 7. All right, the 33 is no more. There's the 33 bus that would go through Pilgrim and come out over here, which I could take to get to the South Shore after my hike at Edgewood. Gone. So I won't have that anymore. What is the 33 would become the 4, which starts at Deer Park Rail. I guess that would start at Deer Park Railroad instead, so you'd have to get it over here at Deer Park Railroad, and then it would go straight down Straight Path, and then the old 33 route basically from there. All right. The 27 route. That's the 5. So I don't. Where's the 4 going though? The 4 might go to Brentwood, actually. That would be the old 27. You see, a lot of routes are getting split up, and they have a lot of different routes going through between Brentwood, Central Islip, and the South Shore, and Islip and stuff like that. The 47 is still on this map as well. So now let's go look at the. We're still not done yet because we got to look at the eastern part of the county now, because there's certain changes that occur out there too. And I'm using this because this is a higher resolution. So the areas shaded in pink are the areas that are on-demand transit zones, all right? But there's still nothing to replace the S90 on this map. Now the 58 routing looks like it stays the same in Riverhead. The 62 changes, however. So the 62 would go south on Route 24 and serve part of the old 8A route, and then go along the old, go along Montauk Highway, and then go to Riverhead. All right, instead of going directly along. So then you have one less route on the busy Route 58 corridor in Riverhead, but there's a lot of shopping, so that makes no sense. All right, 92 looks like that remains unchanged. Does it remain unchanged? Yeah, the 92 remains unchanged. This becomes an on-demand transit area. All right, so there's something to replace the old 10B here. Then the 92 goes and then ends at East Hampton. So it's the same route, but what happened to the 10C? No, it becomes, this whole East Fork here becomes an on-demand transit area. No more 10C. All right, so that's not good. All right. But we're not done yet, because this is the better plan. This is the one I had to choose from, and trust me, I don't like either of them. All right. So now we go to the coverage. That was the coverage concept. All right. Now we look at the ridership concept, and this concentrates how much service there is, basically. All right. And these routes, and if you look at the frequency here, again, the frequency chart, which basically shows you here in the corner what the frequencies are. All right, so the routes shaded in purple are the ones that run more frequently, 16 to 20 minutes. The ones that run in this dark bluish green are 31 to 20 minutes. 21 to 30 minutes, and the other ones are 31 to 60, the lighter blue, and then the orange are more than 60 minutes. All right, so you can see here, this is the coverage concept here. Again, looking at the coverage concept. Again, the routes that would see more frequent service, there was only one that would see the half-hourly service of the 54, the S1, and the S40, right, which is kind of similar to what we have now. The old 54 route, which would be the 6, all right, which would be changed. Its routing would be changed a little bit, and then the S1 and the S2, which would become which was the S40. All right. So now we go to the other concept, the ridership concept, and this one is much, much worse. All right. So it gives more service. You'll notice there are a lot more darker blue-green routes, which means they're going to be running every half an hour. But notice all the routes that are gone now. There's no 62 at all. So the 62 is gone. So if you need to get to and they're like, well, would you have more walking involved? You know how long of a walk it is to get to the 58 from Rocky Point? You got to walk through the Pine Barrens for like 2 to 3 hours. That's not acceptable, especially for somebody with a disability. And this isn't even a ridership concept area. I mean, this isn't even an on-demand service area. So 61 here, yeah, I've discussed it with this. I'm going to have to call the legislature this week and let them know that this is no good. I don't like this at all. So the 61... see, that's also changed a little bit, too. No 62 anymore. 58 is still there, but the 58 still has hourly service. All right? The 52, which is the old 6A, will have more frequent service on the 61. The 66 gets every half an hour service, but not the 92. You still have this on-demand response area, but there's no on-demand area now for the east of East Hampton. All right? So either way, both of these things would make my life much harder and much harder to get around. And we all know what this is all part of. We all know that it's all part of the plan. Yesterday I made a video saying I don't want to move to New Jersey. But see how they keep making my life harder here. And this is just another example of it. They're saying, oh, this is going to make it easy. It's going to make it easier for some people, but it's going to make it harder for some other people, all right? Because it'll be easy for people on the South Shore because look at how much better their service is, all right? It's also better for people in the western part of the county to some extent. You still don't have, all right, now you have a 5 route, which looks like it would be, this would be the old 58, the 5, what's the 5? All right, the 5 goes down Comac Road now. And that goes to Babylon. But now you don't have anything going down Deer Park Avenue. Nothing going down Deer Park Avenue. You know how many stores there are on Deer Park Avenue? You have nothing going down Deer Park Avenue now? So, yeah, this is a horrible plan. Both of these plans are absolutely horrible. And if they get away with this, this is going to be very bad for a lot of people. This is every bit as bad as the Queens Bus Redesign. But unlike the Queens Bus Redesign, no one is talking about it. They would do increased service routes. They would increase service to operate as late as 10 p.m. on the routes that do run. There would be more frequent service on this ridership concept. But the proximity to transit changes with this coverage concept. All right, a lot less people are close to transit. And this is a big problem. All right. What percentage of the service area is near transit? All right. When you look at this, you can see look at all the people that are not within 1/2 a mile in this ridership concept. All right. So this is really bad. Really bad. Almost half the people are away from transit. All right. When we go to the other concept, we'll go back up to that. Go to that chart here. Do they have a chart for that? Or they don't have a chart for that. So they don't have a chart for that. But both of these plans have serious drawbacks. And honestly, I think this whole redesign needs to be thrown out. That's my own opinion. And that's what I have to say on the Suffolk County Transit redesign. So it's on the website. You have the links right here. Links to the PDFs are here. So you go to this. The downloads are here. I'll provide the links for you. The survey. You can take the survey. And this is when they want to implement this. Proposing, so second to third quarter, community survey to gather input, community meetings. All right. And then the final implementation would be fourth quarter of 2021, recommendations and a rollout plan. So this could start by next year. And this is going to seriously make things a lot difficult for a lot of other people. And the group that's called Jarrett Walker and Associates, some private company, they're based in Portland. How do they know anything about us on Long Island? And who funds these people? Are they another part of Wall Street, perhaps, or a certain demographic? You have to ask yourself that again. It's all part of the plan to force us out, and it's just another piece of the puzzle. That's going to be it for this video.